But first, we should probably talk a little bit about who we are.
Okay, yeah, sure.
For those of you who don't know us, my name is Mike Ryan.
And I'm Brian Love.
I'm one of the co-creators of NGRX, and we're both principal architects at Live Love App, where we help developers find absolute joy in building Angular applications.
Okay, show me your app. I want to see this.
I want to show it to you.
Okay.
So here's the app, right?
Ooh, nice. Oh, look at that
I already got some of your pictures up here from some of the
Mm.
pizza you've eaten. Look, there's me like 2 days ago here in Rome having some delicious pizza.
So good.
It's a pretty good app.
Pizza, the best.
What about that one where they fold it up for you so you can walk and eat it in Naples?
on the street.
Just delicious. Okay, and check this out. I'm really proud of the way that I built this.
Yeah,
So,
I want to see the source code. Let me see what you did here.
Yeah, let's see. I got this diary entry component here. You can kind of get a sense of what I've been doing.
Okay.
See, I'm just kind of using some material in here. Got some images.
I mean, I like it, Mike, but what? This is old Angular.
What do you mean it's old Angular?
Why aren't you using standalone components?
What are you talking
You
about?
got an image tag? You're not using the optimized image?
Brian, I've been building Angular apps for 7 years. I know what I'm doing. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
No.
I got this app module here. You like my app module? Nice and neatly organized, using a little bit of NGRX.
Why do you have a module?
This is how you build Angular apps.
This is not, that's old Angular.
Oh, and check this out. NGRX these days has this new create action thing here. Let me show you some API actions that I've been writing recently.
Now, I know you're good at NGRX. Let me see.
I built NGRX. So look at these actions here.
Holy crap. Look at all that boilerplate.
Did you just say boilerplate to me?
Oh.
You're going to fly me out to Rome.
He's testy.
All the way across the Atlantic Ocean.
Look at all that boilerplate.
I'm showing you this beautiful app that I wrote, and you're going to tell me that it's old Angular. I know how to build Angular apps.
But new Angular is superior.
Listen, we're in Italy, the home of the spaghetti western. So I think there's only one thing to do here. I challenge you to an old school, old-fashioned showdown.
Do it.
Il nuovo angolare è superiore. No, il vecchio angolare è superiore. Nuove vincite angolari. Una volta mi chiamavano nuovo angolare.
Okay, you might be onto something. Help me refactor this application to use new Angular.
All right. Let's open up that component.
Okay, let's start there. What was it, the diary entry component?
Yes.
Okay, standalone components. How do I do this?
First thing we need to do is we need to add the standalone property and set it to true.
All right, got that done.
Okay.
Now you just delete the ng module, right? That's all I have to do? Just go in here.
Just delete it.
Delete the ng module?
Just do it.
Are you sure about this?
Delete it.
Okay, that doesn't feel right to me. There's got to be a little bit more to it.
Yeah, so what we need to do next, Mike.
Look at all these errors you have here.
I
told you I knew how to build Angular apps.
I know. What we're going to do is we're going to add the imports property.
Okay.
All right, and it's going to be an array, and now we're going to specify all of the things that we need inside of our component.
Okay.
So I can see that you've got an ngIf there, so we need to bring that in.
So I just like use common module?
Well, no, you can use common module, but you can also just bring in just ngIf.
Okay, let's try that out. So I got ngIf in here.
Yeah, that's good.
ng4. No,
Yeah.
I don't need ng4.
You also use the material card, so we need to bring in the material card module.
Yep, got that.
There you go, partner.
Now what else? What else?
Let's see, what else do we need?
I think we got this pizza diary entry rating component here.
Yeah, let's bring that in, exactly.
Got that. All right, what else? I'm feeling confident about this.
Let's see, we got the mat card module, diary entry component, the ngIf, standalone
Looking good,
true.
looking
Get
good.
rid of that extra comma, very nice.
Okay, let me get this import written here real quick.
All right.
Okay, and it looks like we've got that put in there. Okay, so I've got these in here. Now what?
So we got rid of the module, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Just try to run the app now.
Yeah, let's go see what happens.
Okay. Oh, I got the date pipe too. Let me get that put in here.
Yeah.
This is feeling more complicated somehow. Let's see.
You'll see. Hold on.
Look, errors. I had this app working when we showed up here.
Let's take a look.
Oh, see? I told you it's looking for this module still.
Oh, yeah. You need to go to the app module.
And remove the references to the NG module. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay. So I remove that there, remove the NG entry module here, and then I just bring the component directly in.
That's it.
Oh, okay. This is not feeling so bad. So I've got that growing, and the app works again.
Boom.
Thank you. Okay.
Standalone components.
Not so bad. All right. So I've got that. What about that app module? You didn't like my app module
Let's
one
get
bit.
rid of it.
Just delete it?
Delete it.
My whole application module where I set everything up.
You don't need it. New
All right.
Angular is superior.
I'm trusting you. You did tie me up with an Ethernet cable.
I did.
Okay. Now what? Because I need this app module.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to get rid of that code. Just delete it.
Just delete it.
And now we're going to bootstrap the application with a new function.
Okay.
Use
This one?
bootstrap application.
So this is how you set up a new Angular component.
That's right.
application.
And you'll see that it wants to know what the root component is. That's your
So
app
let's
component.
Drop the app component right in there.
And now we need
What
to give
about
it
my
some,
providers?
Yeah, so we need to do some config here. So we need to tell the providers that we need to bring in providers from any other modules.
Got it.
So there's a new function called import providers from.
Okay. And this is how you interop NG modules with
With
this new standalone
Old
component world.
Angular.
All right. So I know I need that browser animations module for material. So let's go ahead and bring
Perfect.
that thing in.
And you're using NGRX. Now
I
you
am.
could bring in the store module, but there's a new function for that too. Provide store.
So I just provide store like this.
Boom, done.
That seems a lot easier. What about effects? Same thing?
Provide effects.
Okay. This is actually a lot smaller and simpler than my NG module. I think I'm missing just a little bit of router configuration now, right?
So-
do I use the router module here?
Provide router.
Provide router.
I'm telling you, Mike, new Angular is superiore.
Okay. I'll bring in my routes. And that's all I have to do. I don't need my NG module anymore,
Boom.
just this. Let's see if it runs. See, look, we're still missing some things. The app component, how is it supposed to know about the router? I bet we have to make some changes to it. See, it's got these errors.
Yeah,
Let's
so
make this
this
standalone
needs
too.
to be a standalone component as well. So go ahead and add standalone true.
Okay.
Nice. And use that imports. You're using the router module, so go ahead and bring that router outlet in. There you go, perfect. Save that. Let's see.
Okay. That's actually not so bad. It took
We
me, what, like
deleted
a couple
a lot
of minutes?
code.
We did delete a lot of code. Okay. I get it. Some things have changed about Angular. That was a little bit simpler. We deleted some code.
It
But
was
you
nice.
came at me about more than just that. You said my images were wrong.
I
My
did.
images are beautiful.
I did.
Look
I
at
did.
me up there. That top left one's one of the best
You
images on the
you
page.
Look great.
I'm really happy in that photo.
I
of
mean,
you and
I think
pizza.
the pizza looks better, but that's okay. Sorry.
Okay, so how do we fix this?
All right, so now we're going to use the new NG-optimized image directive.
Okay, tell me about this. Well, I don't want to watch that again. So we have this new set of optimized images?
That's right. Yeah, so the new optimized images, we've kind of heard about this today. It optimizes your images for you, Mike. It's fantastic.
You designed these slides, didn't you?
I mean, they're pretty awesome.
Does it really do a
bullet
fire
hole.
effect when you hit next?
Yeah.
Great. Go on.
I tried to get Clippy in here, but I couldn't find it. It enforces best practices as well. And it generates all the asset URLs for you. And it avoids layout shifts. So that way you don't get more cumulative layout shift and worse scores in Lighthouse.
Okay, all right. I could see why I might want to use this. So I don't really want to use image element the same way I was using it before.
But all you need to do is swap out source with ng source. Done.
I bet you it's not that easy. I'm going to show you that old Angular developers know how to actually build Angular apps.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to go into my diary entry component, because that's where I've actually got my images being loaded in here.
That's right.
And you're saying all I have to do is just use ng source here.
NgSRC. We need to import it, though, because we're using a standalone component.
Okay.
So go ahead and bring in ng optimized image.
Got it.
Perfect.
I'm just going to hit save, and it's just going to work.
Well, we're going to have to do a little bit of CSS
Look at it.
here.
It's completely broken.
Hold on, Mike. Relax. I know. Okay, let's go back to your source code. And what we need to do is let's put a wrapper div around that.
Okay.
Because we want it to fill the container, right?
Yeah, I see.
So let's just put a div. Let's put a class on it. We're going to put some CSS on that here in a second.
Yep.
And then bring that image down inside of there.
Okay. I'm going to bring this mat card image directive up. That way the CSS from Angular material gets applied correctly.
Perfect.
And I can just hit save at this point.
No, well, not quite. Hold
Okay.
on. Let's add a fill property to the image tag. So that way ng optimized image knows that we want to fill the height and width of the parent element.
That sounds good. I should probably go to the image wrapper and actually set that height and width
So
on
let's
it.
go down to that class and let's set an explicit height and width.
Okay. I'm going to set the height to be 260 pixels. That's what it was beforehand, after all.
Okay.
I'm going to say that the width should be 100% of the card.
Perfect.
That sound reasonable?
And then you can get rid of the height there on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll remove that. Let's go back and see if the app's running now.
Let's see.
Hey, it's looking pretty good.
That
Okay.
is fast.
And it actually was noticeably faster.
It was noticeably faster.
But if I open this up, look.
Yeah. Hold on.
Look, I didn't have any
Don't-
warnings in my application.
I know.
This was, again, working
Mike,
fine before
Mike,
you showed up.
No, hold on. Look, it's telling you exactly right here what it wants to do. It's detected that this image is part of the largest contentful paint. And so what we need to do is we need to optimize it so it's a fetch priority. And
That's
now you
actually
could
pretty
do
cool.
that. That sounds hard, but all you have to do is go back to the source code, and then we're just going to add a priority property. That's it.
Like that?
That's it.
Okay, that's pretty cool that it detected that this was my largest contentful paint source and told me what to do on how to optimize this image further.
New Angular
Let's
is
see.
superior.
I'm getting a hang of this. Let's see. Oh, this one's telling me that I need to add a pre-connect link into my header to make this load even quicker.
To load even quicker. And what that's going to do is that's going to instruct to the browser. I want you to go ahead and kind of deal with some of the TLS and the handshake for SSL to make sure that it can bring those images in as fast as possible.
So let's drop that in.
It even gave you the code.
It did. That was really handy. All I had to do is do a little bit of copy and paste, refresh it, no errors, and my images are way faster.
I'm telling you, man. New
Angular. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. There was one thing, though, that you were completely wrong on, and that's the NGRX. There's no boilerplate in my NGRX. I will call Brandon Roberts and have him explain it to you.
Mike, let's open up the NGRX file. Now, you, of all people, know that actions are the gluten to the pizza crust.
Yes, I know this.
You've had a tendency to kind of talk a little bit about actions and all this stuff, but look at all this code.
It's not that bad. We've made it so much smaller over the years. Look, trust me, like
you
4
did.
years ago,
You
this used to be
did.
like quadruple the amount of code. This is feeling pretty svelte.
I know, because I wrote all that code 4 years ago. All right, so what I want you to do is we're going to bring in create action group. So let's export a const, and we're going to group together all of our actions, because, I mean, come on, they're all part of the same thing.
Okay, so what do I provide here?
Give it a source property here.
What's this?
Well, instead of using the square brackets you had before in old Angular, we're going to just drop in the entry API there, and it's going to make sure to kind of group things for us. And then here we're going to put in all of the events that we expect as part of this API.
Okay, so like previously I had load all success. I'm just going to put load all success here.
Bring that in.
And then I'm going to say that this takes some, I don't know, some diary entries here
You got it.
and returns those out. Like that? That's all I have to do?
And then you can get rid of that code there. Look, 3 lines of code gone.
Gone.
And you can do that with all of them.
So I should do one for load all failure.
I think so.
Let's see how GitHub Copilot does for this. How about we do one for delete failure or delete success?
Perfect.
Okay. Getting the hang of this. Delete failure.
Delete failure. Nice. Thank you, Copilot.
Create success.
Fantastic.
Create failure.
Yep. And this is
Update
only,
success.
I feel like it's a Copilot
Update
commercial.
failure. It's kind of a GitHub Copilot commercial. And now I can delete all of this code
all of it.
This used to be like 50 lines of code, Brian, and you're saying I only need 15 lines of code
What
now for
I'm
it?
telling you is just maybe there's no more boilerplate in NGRX.
There was never boilerplate, but I will admit it's a little smaller.
Okay.
It's a little smaller, I'll give you that much.
All right.
I know I need to go update this import real quick. Go back to the application, and it's still working.
Boom.
Okay, new Angular.
New Angular,
I'm feeling
my friend, I'm
pretty
telling
good
you.
about new Angular. Okay, I trust you now. What else can I do to make this a little bit more compact?
I think that we could, in our effects, let's go take a look at that.
Okay,
Now, I think in the effects file, you're using the constructor to inject things.
that's right.
And you could do that, that's fine, but that's old Angular.
Okay.
Partner, there's a new inject function.
Okay, what does the inject function do?
Well, what we're going to do is inside of your effect here, let's just do const actions equals, and let's just inject actions.
Like this?
Just like that.
So I don't have to have it in my constructor anymore? I can just delete
Nope,
that?
gone.
And then remove the this.actions?
And then do the same with your service.
This is actually really nice because this groups the dependencies that I have for this particular
Inside
effect.
of the effect that you actually need them
Okay.
in.
So I can just remove that there, completely blow away the constructor. Okay, I'm liking this. And that's all I have to do.
That's
This
it.
feels way cleaner. Plus, this gets me ready for NGRX 16, where
Yeah.
you're actually going to be able to write effects as standalone functions. You don't even need classes whatsoever in NGRX 16.
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
Now you're talking. Look, will you show me?
Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of that code right now. So if we go in here, we can take a look at what's coming next. So this is the way we write effects today.
Yeah.
In NGRX 16, this is going
Uh-huh.
to get even smaller, thanks to some work from the NGRX team, including
nice.
Marco. Yeah. Okay, I'm really liking this. Less code, cleaner, more functional. This is feeling
Beautiful.
good. You got my brain spinning now. I bet there's all sorts of cool stuff we could do with this. I'm going to go take a look at, let's go look at the diary entries component. Okay, now that I'm getting really excited about new Angular, I have an idea.
Okay.
See, this is the component where I inject the store.
That's
I don't need
right.
to do this anymore, right? I can just use this inject function.
Let's do it. Let's just refactor it. Use the inject function.
So I can
Store
just do like
equals.
inject,
Uh-huh.
and I just pass in store like this.
And you're done.
And then instead of like having to set this or declare this here and set it in the constructor, I can just do this,
This.store dot select.
dot select. Okay. Select all diary entries and just remove the constructor.
Just gone.
Feeling pretty
New
good.
Angular.
Application's still running, still feeling good. Oh, Brian, this is fantastic. That inject function is really cool.
It's pretty nice.
And since it's just a function, I could actually probably like wrap it up. I have an idea.
Let's do a little refactor here.
Okay, what if instead of injecting the store, I could just like inject a selector instead? Yeah, see, I'm starting to really
You're
think
starting to
creatively.
get into this.
I'm liking this. I'm going to call this inject state. I'm going to say that I need a function, a selector here,
Okay.
that takes state.
State.
Let's call this selector. It takes in state, any
type.
state,
Of any, okay, and then it's going to return T.
yeah, whatever the thing is
Perfect.
the selector is supposed to return.
Uh-huh.
And then I want this to return an observable of T. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject the store in here, and I'm just going to return store.select, selecting the selector.
And then let's go down and just refactor that other one.
Yeah, this is feeling pretty good. So I'm just going to go down here now, and instead of doing this.store.select, I can just do inject state. I can wrap up the inject thing. This is feeling really
I'm
cool.
telling you, man.
New Angular. It's composable, so I can actually compose
beautiful.
these APIs, build whole new utility functions myself. I'm liking this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take this a step further. Let's build a function called inject actions.
Ooh, I like where you're going with
Yeah,
this.
you like this, don't
Yeah,
you?
so we're going to need a generic T and then V, yeah. Extend. Yeah.
So this is going to take some args. This is whatever was needed
That's right.
previously. So like we're kind of building something that would take an action creator here,
That's right.
and this returns an action. Okay.
Of type.
I'm going to import the action interface here. Oh, wrong action. I want to make sure I get the one from NGRX store.
Yep.
So let's call this the action creator, which is of type V. And this is going to return a function like this. So what I'm doing is I'm injecting the store, and I'm returning a function that takes any of the arguments that my action creator required, and it's just going to dispatch that action for me.
I love it.
Okay, let's try it out. So down here, instead of injecting the store, I'm just going to delete this altogether. I don't need the store at this point. Instead, I can just say I want a method called enter, and I'm going to inject an action for it.
And just grab that action. And then you can refactor ng on init rather than doing this.store.dispatch. That's just a lot of code. What if we just do this.enter? Wow.
Does it still work? It still works.
The demo
Modern
gods
Angular.
are with us.
I'm really enjoying modern Angular. Okay, let's recap all the changes that you've just taught me.
Okay.
I'm so glad I showed you this application because I feel like this has just gotten so much simpler. So if I go look at this code now, the first thing that we touched is we touched that diary entry component. And in this diary entry component, we made a couple of changes. First, we made this standalone. So we no longer need to have an ng module associated with it. This is no longer needs ng modules. Instead, we're specifying our imports directly in the component itself.
And we don't need to bring in the common module. We can just bring in the specific directives that we need out of the common module.
We just need to bring in the bits of Angular that we actually want to use.
That's
we can be much more specific. And in addition to the imports, we can also bring in ng modules. So for libraries like Angular Material that still use those, they just
works.
That's really fantastic. Additionally, if we write our own standalone components, we just drop them here.
That's right. Just bring them, put them in the imports array. Good to go. You don't need to declare those in an ng module anymore.
We get great IntelliSense. So if we're missing an import, VS Code is going to let us know what the problem is and how we can fix it. Additionally, we went and removed the entire application module. So if we go look at main.ts again, there's no more root application module. Instead, we're just bootstrapping the app component directly.
Easy.
Libraries like NGRX have already been updated to support standalone components.
New in v15.
That's correct. So in NGRX 15, instead of using the store module or the effects module, I can just provide the store or provide the effects right here when I'm bootstrapping the application.
You betcha.
It's functional, simple, and removed a lot of code. And even, surprisingly, a lot of files. Like I have fewer files in this application now, too.
I'm telling you.
If we go back to diary entry component, you also help me make these images a lot faster.
So we use the new ng-optimized image directive to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us.
Yeah. Now, instead of having these like old image tags that weren't necessarily optimized, that ng-optimized image helped me figure out the way to use browser best practices to make those images load so fast.
Nice.
And I mean, these things are loading fast on this
Super
Wi-Fi.
fast.
It's pretty good.
You know it's fast.
Additionally, it taught us that we had to go make some changes to that index.html file. So if we go back here, we added that pre-connect.
That's
Explain
right.
to me what that was doing again, because I don't
Yeah,
think I
it'll
fully
kind of do a
understand it.
little, it pre-connects to the domain that you specify. Okay. So that way when you actually go to make those requests, it's already established the connection to that domain. So things like SSH or SSL and all that kind of thing gets handled ahead of time.
Makes sense. And if I go with like my actions, this got way smaller.
Way smaller.
Way less code required, a little bit easier to read too.
That's right. So we blew away all that code. We used create action group. We specify the source, and then all of our events.
Super simple. We went and refactored some effects too, right?
We did. So inside the effects, we're getting ready for the next release of NGRX by refactoring our effects to use the new inject function. And in the future, we're going to be able to use these just as functions. And there's no reason for this class. If you look at it, like, why is it even there?
Makes
the
sense.
only reason why we had classes before with effects is we needed to use dependency injection to get access to things. But with the inject function, we just don't need classes anymore. We can just have pure functions. Plus the testing story, way easier.
Better. Whew. Beyond that, you got me so excited, I started playing around with some of this. Using that new inject function, we can actually build our own composable API on top of it that leverages inject to make our application code so much simpler.
That's right.
I mean, look how much better and easier to read this application
Just inject the state, inject an action,
and you're
call
done.
the function.
Way less code, far more productive. You know what, Brian? It pains me to say it, but new Angular is superiore.
That's right.
We've got bloopers.
We got a blooper reel. Enjoy.
Perché il 9 Angular è superiore.
Non superiore, superiore.
It's Leviosa!
It's really hard.
Turn!
Oh!
superiore. Superiore. Hold on, another cut.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.